Hello, Capricorn. We are here with your reading for August. I hope that you're all doing well. Before we get started with the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Alright, I'm seeing something that you're struggling with right now. Struggling to balance, maybe. There can be something that you're not feeling great about. It looks like this has to do with a relationship. It can also be something that you want and you feel like you don't have access to it, or maybe you don't have opportunity. It has to do with connection, it seems. Something needs to be brought up, spoken about, addressed, but you may have not done this yet. You could be putting something off. This can be a decision that you're putting off. You can sort of know you need to make this. I'm seeing a little elf here. I don't know what that means. It's just coming through. You could feel like you haven't analyzed something enough to be able to take action yet. Like you kind of know you need to do something, but you just feel like you haven't really taken the time to reflect on it enough to be able to do this, to take action. I'm seeing a Christmas cactus here. A Christmas cactus is a plant. A tower. Okay. Really going through it right now, huh? Okay, so something happened that you kind of couldn't help, because a tower is something that's sort of like out of your hands. You could have potentially made a decision prior to this tower, but it seems like a decision wasn't made and then a tower ended up happening, which is something that, I don't know, you could look at this and be like, if I would have made that decision back there, maybe it wouldn't have transpired to this point of the tower. Nonetheless, like, it doesn't really matter anymore because you can't do anything about it, right? Like, the tower has already happened. I am seeing, though, the Eight of Cups. So this is something that's, like, sort of, I don't know, become volatile or sort of exploded, or a situation came to a head, something like that. And I'm actually seeing you be like, I don't need this. So I'm seeing you get out of there. You're like, I don't need to wait to get hit by all this stuff that's going to come down. So I'm seeing you move. So whatever decisions could have been made at some point about this thing, like, none of that really stands anymore. You're just moving away so you don't really get hit by, for some of you, maybe the consequences of this. Maybe it's something that you could have, like, sort of stuck around with, but I'm seeing you be like, it's not really worth it to me. Like, something could have really fallen apart, and if you maybe cared enough about this situation, you could have stayed and helped glue things back together. But Eight of Cups shows you being like, but why would I do that? I don't think that this is going to end up being a situation for me anyway. So I'm seeing you just be like on your merry little way here to kind of move to whatever's next for you. Maybe you also sort of needed this tower to happen to be like, yeah, definitely, like, don't want to go in that direction. And it sort of, like, pushed you. Like, maybe universally it sort of, like, evacuated you from this. Because you would have had to be, like, either stay and fix it or continue moving elsewhere. And this was your, like, yes or no. And you ended up moving away from this. For sure. Because it seems like something you can't really go back to. Or you even saw that if I walk away from this, I can't really, like, go back, and I don't think you wanted to glue this back together anyway. Because you didn't feel like it would be worth it. Like, even if you know, it's like you could have stayed with this, but you put it back together and it's still not something that you want, you know? So why bother taking all that time to do that when it's still not gonna, like, be cracked up to what you want it to be? And maybe it took this happening for you to sort of get moving, you know, like Capricorn can have a tendency to like move kind of slowly as well. Only because of being careful, like really overthinking things. Like if I make this choice, you know, like I'm not going to be able to go back. And it's just Capricorn, like because you're ruled by Saturn can be very cautious and like, do I definitely want to like step out and do this, or like do I definitely want to walk away from this, you know. It can be sometimes playing it a bit safe, even if that's not the most fulfilling thing. And this situation has kind of forced you to be like, okay, like no, I'm done with this. It's like this game that you were playing with yourself, and now you're like, okay, like I'm walking away from it, you know, like I don't want to get hit with the tower. So there can be a part of you that's like still mourning this, even though you know that this situation doesn't have what you need. You're walking away from it because you've recognized that, but of course there's still this part of you that's like mourning it, which just makes sense. You know, it's not going to be easy to walk away from something that you were involved in. So yeah, just sort of like carrying the weight of acclimating, especially mentally. It could also feel frustrating too, because you may have felt like this was, again, like sort of out of your hands. So even though you're making the choice to walk away from it, it doesn't like make it easy, you know? Some of you may be like doing some sort of like personal deep dive or exploration that you're moving into. Like time for maybe self-analysis by whatever means it is that you're doing this. Yeah, there can be just like sadness sort of things being at the end, because I'm seeing like a lot culminating here, and you're essentially at the end of a cycle. Like you're not exactly there yet, but you're pretty much there, which means that you're sort of in that liminal in-between space between like ending and beginning. But I'm seeing you be sad because there's like something leisurely maybe that you'd been enjoying that now you don't have access to anymore. But you felt like this was something, okay, so whatever this was, it was something that you had spent time doing, which definitely could have been like a bigger part of your future, but at the same time, like if it was actually meant to be a foundation of what you were trying to build, the tower wouldn't have happened. So I'm seeing you try to be very to handle this in maybe like a disciplined and controlled way, and like be thinking about your future. Like I'm seeing that be the rationale here of like, I needed to do this for me and my future and what I want within my life, and you know, like how I'm trying to build my life to be. So as much as the tower just is something that's hard and challenging to deal with, I'm seeing you handling it well, with grace, like as much grace as possible. And try to sort of give yourself the stability that you need within your life. There can also be something that you see as being a better offer that you're going to go towards. Seeing some strong Aries energy here. You can feel too like there's a lot going on and it feels a bit overwhelming to your system. It feels like, I don't know, you're looking for something specific, like you're looking for specific information maybe, and rather than it just being given to you like just straight up on like one page and that's where the answer is going to be, you get like 20 books thrown at you and you're like, how am I supposed to go through all of this? I'm seeing something that you're trying to like go through, but it just seems like a lot. Something just overwhelming the system. So maybe there's a lot that you're trying to process right now. But it feels more mentally taxing than anything. And you may feel, I don't know, inexperienced in this way. You could also feel overwhelmed because you have people asking you a lot of questions, or maybe someone asking you a lot of questions. This is like somebody that you know. This can be a family member or just somebody you've known for a long time that's coming around and they're like very curious, but you're going through like a challenging or a stressful time right now where a lot is going on and you just feel like they're kind of like watching you carry all this stuff and it feels very heavy and they may just want to talk to you about it and you're like, I'm trying to do all of this stuff right now and you just keep asking me questions. Maybe you feel like it's not helpful. Yeah, it feels like somebody that you know that maybe asking you a lot of things, and I'm seeing you're close with this person, but you may just feel like you don't have time to have this conversation because there's just a lot going on right now. I'm seeing you just look over, you know, when you're trying to do something and you're concentrating and you have somebody like talking at you and it can feel just like overstimulating because you're trying to get something done and they just keep talking and getting to that point where it's like, stop. I know this is somebody that you're familiar with and maybe quite comfortable with, but I'm just getting like something even like incessantly while you're already feeling stressed out, and that's why it feels maybe annoying to you or unnerving because you're like not really in the place to socialize. You just feel like you have a lot going on is what I'm seeing. But you could just feel like there's a lot of like watching and talking but not a lot of helping, and that may be getting to you at this point. So you may have to maybe do a little unpopular opinion, but this is how I feel, you know, something like that, where you may want to express yourself, because I'm seeing like somebody or maybe people around you being very, very curious, and like these are people that maybe feel like they have a bit of a right to you, and you're just like not in the mood to talk because you have a lot going on right now. This can also be a particular person coming through. Let me look at this. Yeah. If something just kind of exploded and I'm seeing you step out of it kind of like, I don't need to come back to this and rebuild it. Like I'm just going to walk away from it, but I'm seeing the walking away isn't easy. But I'm seeing you really, really concerned with your future here and you trying to make like very well thought out choices to be very like disciplined and controlled, and you're thinking about your future here and you're trying to be consistent and you're trying to do things that are like creating stability within your life, and just like the really big responsibilities that you have and like all of the things that you're responsible for and have control over and the decisions that you need to make. I'm just seeing it be very stressful. There's just like a lot of weight that's on you right now that has to do with these like very big cornerstones even of your life currently, and you can feel like it's again that thing of you're in the middle of trying to do something and you're already feeling like really stressed out, and then you have people being like, move it this way, do it that way, like don't do this, and it's like they're just saying things to you but they're not like actually coming through and offering a hand. But I'm getting for some of you, this can be like family members or people that you've been close with for a long time. People that are just like nosy and curious about what you have going on. And it's just like not the time to be doing that. So I'm actually seeing your guides be like, create some boundaries. Create some boundaries. It may not feel comfortable for you to do, but it's really necessary. You want to tap into, ironically enough, because like Aries is here and there may be something going on with an Aries, you want to be tapping into your Aries energy, which means you being bold, you just saying what you want to say, you defend yourself, you be quick to take action the way that you need to, be like, this is what I'm doing, like, it's okay that you have your opinion, but I'm going to be doing this. It's like that type of energy of like me first, because I'm thinking about my future here and what I'm trying to create and build. And this is how you're being guided to take action, to think about it, because we're seeing Pluto and Mars, which means I'm really going to analyze the decisions that I'm making prior to putting them down. And then to have Mars and Aries here, it's, I'm going to be making bold choices, and because it's the Emperor, that are connected with my future, what I'm trying to build within my life. And yeah, I guess that's about it as far as everything that I'm seeing here. And for some of you too, there may be something or someone that has been a part of your life that you feel, I don't know, maybe something has expired now with this person. And you want to move towards into a place that is going to be more connected with people that you can have the types of relationships that you want to have the types of relationships with. But yeah, right now I'm just seeing a decision that needs to be made that you may be really struggling with because you feel really stressed out. I'm just seeing like having 9 of Swords and 10 of Wands here. This can be like mentally feeling sort of fried right now. So it's like very hard. You may feel like you're not even thinking clearly. And then 10 of Wands is just like maximum stressed out. Like I cannot take on anything else right now. And you may feel like things are being asked of you, like you need to make decisions while you're in this place of feeling like you're kind of at your limit. This, it seems like it also has to do with like privacy and maybe who you're, I'm hearing something about divulging information, maybe who you're like allowing access to you and what you have going on. Yeah, you may be getting more private, actually. Yeah, something could have happened with, this feels like a person or like an archetype of person. It would have been like an unexpected situation that happened. And this can either be with somebody that you've known for a long time or like a family member. This is where I'm seeing that strong Aries energy, Capricorn. It would have been like a very, like just an unexpected thing, or maybe, okay, so for those of you that have like sort of been in tune and following, it may not have been the most unexpected thing, but it could have felt like something finally coming to a head, or something like finally sort of erupting. So you could have sort of known that things were building, but it's like then the thing like actually takes place, and this is that thing actually happening, where everything kind of explodes from that point. And this is where I'm seeing you be like, I don't need to go back and put this back together because I feel like it's not worth salvaging. That's what the energy is. And you want to put all of your energy and effort into relationships that feel like this, you know, where you feel like there's common ground and mutuality and people being receptive and understanding one another and like showing up for one another, rather than just towers, which is constant like instability. So yeah. So that's actually what I'm seeing you go towards. And so you may be like taking your energy and bringing it more, you know, towards the people that you feel like are understanding of you and close to you, and people that like mutually care about you, stuff like that. And there may be somebody that you sort of need to set boundaries with a bit. Alright, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.